Hello and welcome. I'm really excited for us to start getting our hands dirty with our C# coding. In this video, we are going to create 4 simple statements that print out to the console using debug.log. Let's jump in and get started. Okay, let's start by creating ourselves a new project. You can see from Unity Hub, we click on the new button as we did previously, and we will name our project Number Wizard Console, because we are creating a small little game called Number Wizard, and we're focusing just on the console. In terms of location, we'll find repos Unity 2D, as we did in our previous very quick project that we set up in our intro setup. And I've already created a Number Wizard console. If you haven't done that, create a new folder, or you can do right-click, new folder, create a new folder, click on that once, or double-click it. Either way works just fine, and then select Project. Make sure the template is 2D, and then create project. Wait for Unity to load up. I might skip ahead of this so you don't have to watch me loading Unity. I will see you in a moment. Okay, if your Unity is still loading, not a problem. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing with our game. So here's the game flow for Number Wizard. It's a very basic game where we start off with asking the player to think of a number between a minimum and a maximum. So for example, between 1 and 1,000, we say, think of a number, and then we give a guess to the player. We say, we think your number is this. And the way we come up with our number, we're going to program this together, is taking the minimum and adding the maximum and dividing by 2. So if it's between 1 and 1,000, this will give us 1,001 divided by 2, which is 500. If we round it down, that becomes 500. So that would be our guess. And we ask the player, is your number higher than our number, lower than our number? So I should say lower than higher than our number, or is it correct? And if the player says it's correct, then we start again. Okay, think of a new number between 1 and 1,000. If the player inputs lower or higher, then we have another guess, and we repeat this loop in here until we get the correct number. Let me show you that very briefly with numbers in there. So between 1 and 1,000, our guess is 500. The player in this instance says, no, it's lower. And then we take the lower portion of that, so between 1 and 500, and our guess becomes 250. It's a very simple little binary search mechanism, but it's pretty cool as our starting project. And our actions in this video, which will also form your challenge later on in this particular lecture, is to print the following to the console using your own words. We're going to welcome the player. We're going to ask them to pick a number. We're going to say the highest number you can choose is this, and the lowest number you can choose is that. So that's what we're going to take on, and that's what you're going to be doing. A pretty simple challenge later on in this video. So let's jump back over into Unity. Hopefully it's loaded up for you now, and you can see it's our default layout. As I've mentioned in the intro section of the video, if you're not seeing what I'm seeing, you can come up to the top right here and select default. After you've done that, we're going to grab the console window, click on console, and have a look at it down there. We've got a few buttons down here. We don't need to worry about those at the moment. We've got clear, collapse, etc. For now, we need to have a quick look over on the right here. You can see there's 3 buttons here. The first one is showing us any sort of log that's going to print to our screen. The next one is showing us the warnings, and the next one is showing us errors. So if you've turned them off, you won't see anything printed in the console. If you have them turned on, then you will see those respective things. So if you click it on and click all of 3 of them on, then you'll see all of those. Just a little bit of a gotcha. If you find you're not seeing what we're printing to the console, there's a good chance that this particular button has been switched off. Now, what I want you to do is grab the console, left click, and drag it up over onto the right-hand side. We'll put it up here so that we've got more vertical real estate where we can see what is being printed out into our console. We're mostly using over here. We're not going to be using this side of our screen just yet. In the next section, we'll be digging into Unity and looking at all the different windows and buttons and mechanisms and all the awesome stuff of Unity. For now, we're focusing just on the C# so we can get our hands dirty with coding. So the next step is for us to create a script. If you come down into your assets area down here, right-click, create a C# script. And before doing anything else and before clicking anywhere else, type in Number Wizard, capital N, capital W, no spaces in between that. Whenever we create a script, there's no spaces. Hit enter, then double-click on your script. That will open up Visual Studio. And we see all of the standard information that Unity puts within a script as a default when we first start a script. What we're going to focus on is jumping straight into the start method and writing our content in here. We're going to write some statements in here. And our first statement is going to be debug.log. So follow along with me here, capital D, debug.log, L-O-G, and then open brackets, put in the quotation marks, and then we're going to type something along the lines of welcome to Number Wizard. Yo. Maybe not the yo. Oh yeah, we'll put the yo in there. We'll pretend we're gangster, even though I'm totally as ungangster as you can get. And then we need a semicolon down the end. So here's our first statement. We've written our statement here. Now you might say, if you went through our intro section, which hopefully you did, you might say, well, didn't we do exactly the same thing with print? So print and debug work pretty much the same way. We could have written print, open brackets, quotation marks, welcome to Number Wizard, etc. Wizard, and so on. And then semicolon. We could have done the same thing. We're using debug.log because it gives us a little bit more flexibility and control later on in the course. So for now, you don't need to understand why we're using it instead of print. We can use both of them. If you jump around the internet, you'll see print a lot. It's totally valid. But for us, we're doing it the slightly technically better, more correct way, so that in the future, we've got good habits and we know that debug.log is going to work for us in all the different situations where we need it to work. So that's why we're using that now instead of print. So type in debug.log and the statement in here, save that, and then go back over into Unity. The other step we need to do is to attach our script to a game object. If you see sample scene up here, if you open that up, we've got a main camera. And as we did in the intro, you can either drag your script straight onto there, or when you've clicked on main camera, come back over here to inspector. So you've clicked on inspector and drag your script over into the inspector, which is the same thing as dragging it over onto main camera. You can see now that our sample scene has a little asterisk next to it, and we can go up and say File, Save Scene. We can also save scene as and change the name of it. So we might want to change the name of the scene to be Number Wizard, for example. Number Wizard. So we're calling our scene Number Wizard. You can see now that our whole scene has been renamed Number Wizard, and up the top here it'll say numberwizard.unity. So not a big deal. You can leave it as sample scene, but sample just doesn't really seem what we're up to at the moment. We're making a Number Wizard. That's what we're doing. Okay, now that we've saved that and we've added our script to the main camera, just to have somewhere that we place it, we can click on play and make sure that you've selected the console. If you've still got the inspector open, you won't see this, so click on the console, and we can see, welcome to Number Wizard, yo, excellent. Okay, so now, as I mentioned, I've got a challenge for you. We can unclick play mode there, jump back over into our script, look to see what we've got. I've left a blinking cursor here because what I'd like you to do is our challenge. So I've written a welcome, write it in your own words, write another statement, which is about, we would like you to pick a number, so saying to the player, pick a number, and then another statement again, which is the highest number you can choose is, and we'll say 1,000 for now, and the lowest number is, and we'll say 1 for the moment. And the syntax that we're using is debug.log, open bracket, quotation mark, the thing you want to say, end quotation mark, end bracket, and make sure you put your semicolon on the end. So you should end up with 4 lines in here, this first one, and then another 3 lines saying what we've got here in terms of our challenge. Okay, so that's the challenge. Give that your best shot. Pause the video now, and I'll give you time to work on that. When you come back, we'll go through the solution together. So this is a great time to pause, great time to do the challenge, great time to get your hands dirty, and I will see you in a moment. Welcome back. Hopefully you went well with that. Let me show you my approach to working through this. Let's start by typing debug.log. What are we going to say next? Pick a number. Don't tell me what it is. ... Semicolon. And then debug.log. Open brackets. Quotation marks. The highest number you can pick is, we'll say 1,000. And debug.log, open brackets, and then quotation marks. And in here, we're going to say the lowest number you can pick is 1. Okay, and then semicolon on the end. So we've now written 4 statements, and these 4 statements are living inside our start method. In the next few videos, we're going to talk a lot more about methods, but for now, we just need to know that these are the statements, or these are the individual directions we're giving to the computer to say, we want you to do this, and then do this, and then do this. And the start method here is like a recipe, where the start method is saying, here are the 4 individual steps within my recipe to make the thing happen that we want to have happen. Now let's save that, back over into Unity, click on play, and you can see in here, welcome to Number Wizard, pick a number, highest number and lowest number. Excellent. So we've created the first part, the structure for our game. So we're giving our player the context of this is what we want you to do. And in our next video, we'll be looking at variables and how we can create a more flexible structure using those variables as a way to store information. So great work. You're doing really well. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.